Welcome to today's lecture, everyone. I am glad you are here. Before we dive in, let's establish one very important ground rule. Neither Europe nor Latin America is a single, uniform place. The daily life of a person in Sweden looks very different from someone in Greece, just as life in Mexico differs from life in Chile. However, anthropologists and sociologists have identified broad, fascinating patterns that distinguish these two massive parts of the world. Today, we are going to look at these cultural differences through four clear lenses. Let's get started. 1. The perception of time, fluid versus fixed. One of the most noticeable differences between these regions is how people view the clock. Europe, monochronic culture. In most of Europe, especially in Northern and Western Europe, like Germany, the UK, or the Netherlands, time is viewed as a tangible resource. It can be spent, wasted, or saved. Punctuality is a sign of respect. Latin America, polychronic culture. In Latin America, time is fluid. Relationships and human interactions are almost always prioritized over strict schedules. If you are on your way to a meeting but run into an old friend, it is considered perfectly acceptable, even expected, to stop and chat even if it makes you late. The common example. If you are invited to a dinner party in Germany at 7 p.m., you ring the doorbell at exactly 7 p.m. If you are invited to a party in Colombia at 7 p.m. and arrive at 7 p.m., you will likely find the host still in the shower. You are generally expected to arrive 30 to 60 minutes late. 2. The social fabric, I versus we. This brings us to how societies are structured regarding the individual versus the group. Europe, individualism. Many European cultures highly value independence, self-reliance, and personal privacy. Success is often framed around personal achievements. Nuclear families, just parents and children, are the standard, and young adults are encouraged to move out and live on their own as soon as they reach university age or get a job. Latin America, collectivism. Latin American culture is deeply rooted in collectivism and the extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents play a massive role in daily life and decision-making. Loyalty to the group, family, or close friends supersedes personal ambition. The common example. In the UK, a 24-year-old professional living with their parents might feel social pressure to move out and gain independence. In Mexico or Peru, it is entirely normal and often preferred for a young professional to live at home until they get married, regardless of their financial independence. 3. Communication, directness versus harmony. How we deliver messages can cause some of the biggest cultural misunderstandings. Europe, low context or direct. Communication is generally explicit, clear, and to the point. If there is a problem, you state it. Honesty is valued over protecting someone's feelings. Latin America, high context or indirect. Communication relies heavily on tone, body language, and context. There is a strong cultural desire to maintain harmony and avoid direct conflict. Because of this, people might use softer language, talk around an issue, or even tell you what you want to hear rather than the harsh truth. The common example. If a boss in the Netherlands reviews a poor report, they might say, "This report is bad and needs to be rewritten." A boss in Latin America might say, "You've done a lot of great work here, but maybe we can look at adjusting a few of these pages for next time." 4. Personal space and greetings. Finally, let's look at the physical bubble we keep around ourselves. Europe,
While Southern Europeans are very warm, Northern and Western Europeans tend to maintain a larger physical distance. Handshakes are the standard, safe, professional greeting. Latin America, the culture is highly physical. Personal space bubbles are much smaller. Touching on the arm during conversation is common, and greetings almost always involve physical contact, even among new acquaintances. The common example: in a business meeting in London, you will likely shake hands with a female colleague. In Argentina or Brazil, it is customary to greet almost everyone, including colleagues and new acquaintances, with a kiss or two on the cheek. Brain. Interesting unknown facts. To wrap up our lecture, here are a few deeper cultural facts you might not know. The cultural script of sympatia. In Latin America, there is an unspoken social script called sympatia. It means you have a social duty to be perceived as highly likable, easygoing, and polite. This often results in a cultural phenomenon where people will say yes to an invitation they have no intention of attending simply because saying a flat no violates the rules of sympatia. The institution of sobremesa. Latin America and Spain share the sacred tradition of sobremesa, literally over the table. It is the time spent talking, digesting, and socializing at the table long after the meal is finished. In many European countries, once the food is gone, the bill is paid and people leave. In Latin America, the sobremesa can sometimes last longer than the meal itself. The peach versus coconut cultures. Sociologists often describe European cultures, like Germany or Russia, as coconuts, hard and difficult to crack on the outside, but once you earn their trust, they are a friend for life. Latin Americans are often described as peaches, very soft, sweet, and instantly friendly on the outside, but with a hard pit in the center, meaning it can actually take a long time to learn their deepest, most private vulnerabilities.